What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In this video we'll be talking about the gyroscope in Pubg Mobile and why you should use it. Okay, so what is the gyroscope in Pubg Mobile? How will it affect your gameplay? Is it good for you? Is it bad for you? Can everyone use it? Can every device have it? What are the pros and cons? We'll be talking about all of that in this video. So basically, as you can see, if I go to settings now and select gyroscope scope on, and then we go, and now I'm going to open the scope, and as you could see, I'm moving the screen without touching the screen. So what that means is I'm using the gyroscope sensor to tilt and tilting my phone, which results in the in-game screen moving. That is really cool. It's you're moving the screen without using the screen. If you press always on gyro, you could see that the whole screen moves even when I'm not scoped in, and that is also really cool. So can everyone use this gyroscope? This is just a disclaimer before everyone gets so happy. No, a lot of mid-range budget devices do not have this sensor, but if you do have this sensor, you're really lucky, and I suggest that you should use it. Mainly people use the gyroscope for one main reason, that is to reduce the recoil. So there are three ways you could mainly use to reduce the recoil. The first one is using a compensator, which reduces the recoil of the gun. Secondly is pulling down the screen while you're shooting, meaning like when you're shooting you pull the shoot button down so that the gun doesn't go up as much. And the third way is using the gyroscope, which is tilting the screen opposite to the direction where the gun is going, so your aim will be in the location you want it to be. So if you do a quick comparison between pulling your screen down and the gyroscope, I would say that the gyroscope is more efficient and effective, because it's like you're holding the gun in your hand if you're using the gyroscope. So I'm going to show you now the main how much of a difference it makes using gyroscope and not. So here is the first M416 spray. I'm going to be showing you that I don't have a compensator stock or a foregrip in the gun. You should always practice your sprays without any of those, then eventually once you get them in the match you will be much better. So here's the first spray. This first spray I used, I did using only aiming down the side, that's pulling down the fire button. As you could see, the spread is a little bit there, but it's not as bad as not using anything. Now I'm going to show you the spray with the gyroscope. As you can see, there's nothing in the gun except for the scope. The 6 scope is reduced to a 3x, by the way. As you could see, if you compare the previous one, this spray is much better. Now it's not like this for everyone. I've been playing gyroscope for like four seasons and 2 seasons with always on gyro. It's not like this for everyone. If you take for example iPad players, they don't need to use the gyroscope. Actually they can't, since their device is so big. It's really hard to use the gyroscope, but there are players who use the gyroscope on an iPad, and they don't actually need to use the gyroscope, because if you have played on an iPad you'll realize how easy it is. Turning on the gyroscope won't make you a pro player instantly. You have to spend at least 1 week not playing classic matches and only TDMs and going to the training camp, adjusting your gyroscope sensitivity. I'm going to show you guys how to fix your gyroscope sensitivity right now. So you go to settings, sensitivity, and find the gyroscope section and set everything to 300. Okay, once you have done setting everything to 300, you take a M416 and a Car 98K with all the scopes from dot sight to 6x to 8x, and then you keep on doing sprays. Say for example, if you start off with the dot sight, you do a spray at 10 meters, 50 meters, 70 meters and 100 meters, and then you tilt down using only the gyroscope. If you feel that you could do it, if the recoil is perfect, then and there you could leave it at 300, but for most of the time it's too sensitive. So what you do is you keep on reducing by 10s or 20s depending on how much you want it to. Eventually you should get to a point where you can control the recoil like there is no recoil. That'll be around, for me of course, I think my red dot is set to around 150 or something. I spent some time fixing the sensitivity. It's not perfect, but if you have the passion you could obviously do it. Same goes for the 2 scope, 3 scope, 4 scope, 6 scope and 8 scope. Actually you don't need gyroscope since you'll be obviously sniping with it, unless of course you're using the Mark 14 8x auto. Doesn't make much sense actually. So basically don't put it to 300 and keep it low. You won't be using sprays with the 8x auto. This is not season 1. So okay, once you got your sensitivity down, means your recoil should be fine, and that's one of the main things we do with the gyroscope. The second thing I want to talk about is called pre-aiming or pre-firing. So what is pre-firing? Pre-firing is shooting. Say you have this window, you're going to be shooting the window before the enemy pops out from the window. In this clip I'm going to be pre-firing this window. My friend marked it, and then just like that I jumped and pre-fired, slow motion right here, just like that. That's how you pre-fire, meaning he'll start taking damage instantly. This strategy has its pros and cons. Like for example, you could run out of ammo, and then if the enemy is good, he'll listen until your ammo is down and then just put his head out and shoot you. Or say there's someone right next to you and you have been pre-firing, and then you reload, then you have to reload, and then you hear the guy next to you. It's too late. But it has its pros also. Most of the time you win a gunfight because of pre-firing. So you're probably wondering, how do you use the gyroscope to pre-fire? That's not very easy. It takes a lot of practice, but if you could do it right, it looks really cool. It looks like you have a that's this hack which makes your aim stick onto the enemy. It looks really cool. It just looks like you know where the enemy is, and then the second he pops out you shoot. So basically you take a gun like the M416, which is an all-rounder, and go to the training camp, and you could see players jumping around a lot. You find someone, and then just it's called third person sensitivity, third person no scope sensitivity. You try to trace that person using the gyroscope and moving using only the trackpad. So basically while doing this, you will be ensuring if your sensitivity is high or low. If it's high or low, you should change it respectively from the settings. Keeping your aim onto something before the enemy comes there is really cool. You'll win so much more gunfights if you use the gyroscope to do this, as you could just, it's just instant. You don't have to move your aim towards the window like that. A lot of people make this mistake. They don't keep their crosshair to where the enemy is supposed to come out from. If you're playing a TDM, for example, or if you're playing a classic anything, you're holding a house and there's only one doorway. Some people, they don't pre-aim the door or pre-fire the door because they don't know about this. It's obviously that they can only come from one entrance, right? So you're supposed to pre-aim or pre-fire the only entrance they could come in from. That's just basic common sense. If you do this properly, you will be a really good player eventually over time. And some people have it's like a myth among people that if you use a gyroscope you're a pro player. No, it's not at all like that. It's just it does make you look cool, but it's just the wrong acceptance people have. For example, iPad players, they don't use gyroscope as often, but they could do hip fires and sprays with no recoil. There are reasons for that, but you don't have to use the gyroscope to be a good player, and using a gyroscope doesn't make you a pro. You have to make yourself a pro. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the video with a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn those post notifications on. If this video gets 15 likes, I'm gonna drop my next video. Thanks for watching.